So I was finally able to get my hands on a game that honestly I heard so many great things about, but I never got to play this game in the past though. That is going to be Pure. This game launched in 2008. It did end up coming out on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC. The version you guys are seeing though is the 360 version on the Series X. Yes, the game is indeed backwards compatible. Now, you might be wondering if you've maybe never played this, you probably were like me. Well, what is Pure? Like, what even is this game? Well, guys, it is an ATV-focused racing game. What gave that away, right? But in this game, though, it is going to be focused on doing tricks where you start out, you could do easier tricks, then you can do bigger, and then also bigger tricks afterwards. And on top of that, you also have boost, and you're pretty much hitting massive jumps, doing some pretty crazy tricks and also combo ones, and then there's like a massive trick you can do. And to be real, this game really was pretty dang fun in a lot of areas. I really didn't know what to expect going into Pure, as I did end up seeing stuff on the game, right? I did see videos and stuff like that. I watched a few. I did not watch a lot because I wanted to go into the game myself and, you know, kind of experience things and see how the game really was. And crazily enough, guys, it honestly blew me away because not only does the game have a really fun trick system to it that gives you boost, it also has really fun ATV riding gameplay. Now, if you guys are wondering, the ATVs are obviously not real brands, but there is real branded items in the game. For example, you have like a Pro Taper handlebar, you have the Rental, you also have something like the ITP tires, you have FMF in there. You'll have the Elka suspension systems. You also have Fox systems. So it is cool how there is real parts in the game, even though the ATVs aren't. Funny part is, guys, one of my favorite things about this, though, is how you can actually build your ATVs up. Now, a lot of games, you'd pick your ATV, you throw on like an exhaust system, right? Not in this game, bro. In this game, you basically head in, you have to pretty much pick every single component and see what they do end up doing for you, whether it's speed, handling, acceleration, tricks, boost. You can also color them, pick individual pieces of suspension and all kinds of stuff. It is honestly very cool. I was not expecting this. When I first got on the game, I'm like, wait, bro, I get to pick everything on the quad? It goes, you got to build your quad, bro. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So I'll just throw on like an exhaust and paint it. No, bro, you pick basically every single part, including the motor, and you pretty much go from there. It's honestly very cool. And the farther you get upgraded engines and all that. You can upgrade the parts that you have, making you faster. It is honestly a really dope system. And a lot of that is kind of why I think a lot of players remembered this game, because there's not a lot of games I can think of that give you that type of option, and especially with this game being older, that alone honestly makes it very memorable that people would most likely remember. And the other part of this, guys, now that I'm speaking of that, let's really talk about the gameplay here, as I had a really good time playing this game and also playing through it. I'm over halfway through the game now. I am going to beat it. I want to see how the max level ATVs are and all that, but one thing I gotta admit, though, is it took me a little bit of getting used to on cornering and stuff like that earlier on, because your handling, and basically that's the traction, is a little bit lower when you're starting off. So you might end up sliding around a little bit. But I gotta say, though, the gameplay in this is very fun and chaotic. You pretty much bounce off the other racers. Watching the other racers completely crash, bro, was making me laugh. Like, they'd go off a jump or hit something, and you just see, like, an entire, like, wreckage pile. And then also you completely messing up combos and crashing and trying to jump correctly. You try to land an extra combo in that one jump, and you end up crashing or something. Or watching some of the other AI completely destroy some of the things they were trying to do was really making me laugh when I was playing this game. I was like, all right, well, this ain't going to be like a little walk in the park. This game is also pretty difficult. I wasn't expecting that. When I jumped in, guys, I kind of knew that older games are a little bit harder, right? Pure is definitely no exception. It is on the harder side. This game obviously came out around the 2008 era, which is also when Midnight Club Los Angeles came out. A little fun fact there. That game was not easy by any means. People still say to this day, it is not an easy game. This game, you will also probably struggle in some areas trying to get first on every single event. That's what I've been trying to do. But man, is it so dang fun. And the crashes, doing some of that, guys, and watching the AI crash, and then also watching you crash and fail your combos is hilarious, trying to learn the tracks. It really is a overall really fun setup. I think they really killed this game. And one thing I did not know is Disney made this game, which is something I did not even realize when I was getting the game, which, by the way, I found this at a local game store. Because the game is not on console, I want to recommend that it's on there, but you have to have the disc to play it. Also, let's wonder why the digital thing is not a good idea. But either way, though, I found this game at a local store for around 10 bucks, and my goodness, I saw it and I got super hyped. I'm like, yes, I never got to play this game back in the day. Let me see why everyone talks so highly about it. And man, dude, the overall track design is also very fun. There is different game modes as well, if y'all are wondering. Something I did not realize. There's freestyle, there's sprint, race. All of them are very fun, okay? Obviously, race, what do you think that is? You basically hit some of the bigger tracks up, bigger jumps, massive combos, a lot of speed, a lot of chaoticness going on. These sprints are a little bit smaller events. The races are normally tinier. There's maybe one or two jumps you can hit some tricks in, and then you kind of just jump back in, and yeah, that's kind of all you could do there. Freestyle, grabbing the little things that pop up on the map that give you like double the score. They give you like a max super trick thing that's like the biggest one you could do. They give you like an extra little mild part of fuel there because you do go down in fuel when you do those. It's honestly really fun. It's basically fully based on landing combos and actually getting better tricks than the AI that are in there with you. And I had a really good time with it. I'm like, all right, each game mode was really fun. There's different tracks, there's different setups. At first, I kind of thought every single track was actually the same, but I was genuinely wrong because there is similar setups to each of them. But if you're doing a race, then a freestyle, the freestyle has different routes and also different jumps. That was very cool, and I do love how this game looks, by the way, guys. I'm actually a little bit genuinely surprised because it holds up very well, being a game that's basically 18 years old. It holds up really well. Like, the graphics look pretty dang great. I could say if you were to play this game in a modern era, you'll be like, oh, no, it looks pretty dang good. Like, you could probably tell the game is a little bit older in some places with how some things function. You know, the backgrounds and sometimes the overall, like, ambient of the lighting and different things like that, or sometimes how the glare of the sun is, which we do know older games kind of did some of that a little bit. And you might notice some of that kind of aging a little bit and noticing that, yeah, this game's a little bit older. You might be able to tell that stuff. But the cool thing is, though, you can also tell that for this game being 18 years old, man, it looks genuinely really good. I was kind of surprised. And playing it for the first time ever in 2026, I was like, all right, I'm hooked. I'm having a great time. I literally, guys, I got addicted to playing this game, okay? I was going to play it for like an hour. I stayed on the game for like almost 4 hours just going through the story. And the funny part is I still haven't beaten most of it. I'm still trying to level up my ATVs and get different things on them and set them up because I'm really trying to see how the faster ATVs are or having like maxed out speed and handling and all that, as I really do think it's probably going to be a little bit wild. Now, one of the other things I genuinely liked about Pure, though, is simply down to the way the atmosphere in this game was. I mean, it was very energetic, guys. It was also kind of a little dramatic in some places with how the AI will, like, hit you and stuff. They'll put their hands up. The one guy that you're using, or, you know, woman, whichever one you pick, they will end up kind of saying stuff or doing, like, hand movements and different things, which I thought was very cool. I wasn't expecting small details like that. I like how you can actually hear the other racers crash, or they'll say something when they crashed or something. I kind of like little details like that. It was kind of cool. It made the entire races and all the different tracks feel more vibrant in ways. And it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just racing this ATV and you do a little couple small jumps. No, bro, it is literally chaotic. You hear the insaneness of the other racers. It was honestly a really fun experience, and I love the soundtrack of this game. I don't know, guys, I have said this in other videos, but these soundtracks in old games are so much better than new ones, man. I don't know if it's along the lines of how, you know, maybe they just don't want to be in new games anymore, or maybe there's something going on with a lot of the music licensing. I have no clue. And one of the other things I also thought about again was it's just so funny how you crash in this game and how some of that stuff happens. And watching the AI crash, I had to mention that again because that is probably going to be a highlight for some people. At first, you might get mad crashing and stuff, which obviously you don't want to crash. But if you mess up a combo and then watch like 3 or 4 of the other AI racers completely crash, you just see the ATV going down the track, man. It really does kind of go, okay, this is actually hilarious. Topple that with the overall soundtrack and game design, and Pure really was a very special game, and honestly, it still is. I gotta admit, I'm kind of surprised this game never had a sequel, but I kind of wonder if maybe it didn't sell very well, maybe having just ATVs was kind of niche, or maybe the overall design of this game was kind of niche. I would really love to see another style of this game get a sequel. It's kind of a shame that it honestly didn't. But then again, though, it makes me think about Blur or even Split Second, which are still super loved by a lot of people as well. And even then, people wish those games would have got some type of sequel. So I'm not really surprised, but it also shows how fun these old games were. And I kind of got to admit something, guys, with that as well, is I really do think this style of how games are really is something we kind of need again. I mean, not only is the gameplay insanely good, racing is very fun. It does take a little bit to get used to. You start learning the combos, the jumps, the way you actually have to do the tricks. Then you start hitting the jumps better when you preload, and then the overall sense of progression going through the entire game, getting better parts for your ATVs, eventually unlocking better ATV parts, and also like different skins for them and different liveries and all that stuff, different characters. You also do unlock the tracks if you want to just go drive on them. And that is something that you can definitely have a really fun progression system, which is something I noticed in this game. With it being older, that it doesn't have to be super complicated, man. You just have to have a goal, a good satisfying goal in the game that doesn't have to be complicated. Could be a fun progression system, and this game literally kind of shows that right now to me, which is kind of insane. And speaking of all of that, though, the last thing I wanted to mention here is I could probably keep yapping on about this because I am genuinely sucked into this game, and I bet you a lot of players would love it. The only issue is you kind of have to find a disc if you guys have the Xbox, so I do wish you luck on that. I did see this game is not expensive around, though, so hopefully you could find yourself one if you are looking for it. But something I wanted to mention, which you guys will most likely hear, and also I may even have a separate video on this, which I really started to think about this a little bit, guys, and it kind of makes you wonder, looking at old games and seeing what they're doing with the new ones. You might look at a game like Pure, and what's insane, though, is it reminds me that not every single racing game needs to be a massive live service design, bro. Can we please say that a little bit louder? Not every racing game needs to be a live service experience. Sometimes a game like Pure, for example, it could just be a fun, polished game with really fun gameplay that also makes you come back to it, because this is the type of game I wanted to come back to, guys, okay? It doesn't have a weekly update or anything making me want to come back to it. No, the overall chaotic, just pure fun, man, that might be a pun with this, gameplay really just got me locked in and made me want to play for hours on end. Not like a weekly update that has like an hour of content. No, bro, just make a good, fun game that's actually something that will want to bring you back to it, because the overall factor of keeping you on the game because it's enjoyable is actually there, not the overall fact of let me add some rinky-dink pieces of content to the game to bring a player back. It's just insane. After playing Pure, man, I'm seeing the ATV customization, the in-depth versions there. The overall design of the tracks is very fun. The different styles of the tracks, like freestyle, the sprint ones, and how funny the AI are. And then you also have the soundtrack, and it is such a solid game, and the fact that it's 18 years old, bro, is absolutely wild to me. Like, can we focus on what made these old games special instead of the new games focusing on kind of each other, which I think is the biggest issue. But you guys know what, though? Pure, for me, is easily one of my favorite old games I have ever played. I'm so happy I was able to find a copy and finally jump into this game and enjoy it. Do let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. Have you guys ever played this game? If you haven't, do you want to? And are you also kind of in the boat that it would be kind of dope to see a Pure 2? Now, I do know this is also Disney, which I don't know if they would end up doing a second version. Kind of like Split Second 2 would be awesome, or a second game like Blur would be so dang dope. And these games really would mix up the entire genres, because my favorite thing about them is they are different and they're not literally copy and pasted or way too similar to the other ones.